Welcome to another Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I am Benjamin, and tonight I have for you Poland's first collector banknote, a 50 zloty of Pope John Paul II. I also want to start out and apologize in advance for what I am sure is going to happen, and that is my mispronunciation of Polish words, mainly because I am from the United States, and a letter that looks like one letter to me is pronounced one way, but I've discovered when it comes to Europe that many times the letters have different sounds entirely, and I just apologize for being what I am, somebody from the Midwestern United States. It in no way is intended to diminish my respect for the countries whose banknotes I try to honor and the topics that I wish to show respect toward for my viewership or for the nation in question. So please be understanding and forgive me my pronunciations. I am sharing to you tonight a 50 zloty from Poland that was issued not for circulation but for collectors entirely, and it came issued in a cardboard folder, which I will also show you as part of this video. I used Wikipedia, Standard Catalog of World Paper Money, and the Banknote Book for more information on this banknote. So let's go ahead and get started. This banknote was issued on the 16th of October 2006, which was the 28th anniversary of John Paul's election to the papacy. 2 million were issued in folders, and the original issue price was 90 zloty each. I certainly paid a little bit more than that for this note, and I'm glad I got it, because these commemorative notes are as exciting to me as a commemorative coin used to be years ago for me. This banknote is primarily light blues and yellows, as you can see on this note. There are some browns, and there's a little bit of green, on places on the note, so keep an eye out for some of those. Standard Catalog of World Paper Money calls this a PIC 178, while the Banknote Book calls this a banknote product, and not really a banknote, but they give it the number 812. It measures 144 by 72 millimeters, and it is on a paper substrate. So let's go ahead and get started with what you see on the front of this note. You see Pope John Paul II, and you see him somewhat to the right of the note, and he is enrobed and carrying his pastoral cross right here. In the background is a world map, and interestingly enough, on this world map, the continents are overwritten with names of nations, and I would imagine names where the Catholic Church has somewhat of a presence. But as I got to look at the continents, like for example, this is a continent of Africa, there's North America, there's Europe, I noticed that there is no rhyme or reason to the countries that are listed. I think it's just an alphabetical order list. So for example, right here in the middle of the US, you can see New Zealand, for example, and you see Argentina written down on the continent of Africa. But you kind of have to get really close to see them. And I suppose that would be an early microprinting that you frequently find on currently issued notes as a security device. In addition to that, we do have a offset register right up here in the right hand corner. It's the Keys of St. Peter, and when this design and the back design are held up to the light, they overlap each other in coloring completely the Keys of St. Peter. So there you go, a registration device. There is a security thread, and it runs approximately right down here. The Banknote Book calls it a solid security thread, but mine is not solid security. Whenever I hold it up to the light, I can see demetallized writing of 50 ZT. So I believe it just says 50 zloty all the way. It's printed forwards and backwards, so whatever side of the note you hold up to the light, you can see that it says 50 ZT. The serial number prefix is also an indication of the commemoration and probably a security device as well, because it has a JP, and normally people wouldn't think, oh, JP, that's just a prefix. However, it is a prefix, but it stands for John Paul. So this is one of those fancy serials where the prefix is actually part of the commemoration event. Let's see. The serial number you see down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and vertically you see it over here to the right. So that is another security device. Over here we have a 50 in some sort of optical variable ink. When you angle the note, that ink changes color. Not too terribly new, but in 2006, which is honestly about 15 years ago, it was a little bit more innovative. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to turn this note over. And while I'm turning it over, please subscribe to my channel and enjoy my 128 other videos that I have made up to this point. Now let's take a look at this interesting scene on the back of the note. I don't wish to get too political, but the election of Pope John Paul II to the papacy literally changed the world, and it was a death knell for communism, at least at the time. And this is a beautiful scene that happened at the enthronement, or the I don't know what they call that, whenever they maybe the inauguration of the newly elected pope. This happened in the Vatican, and it was a very poignant scene. I'll get to it. We see the Pope seated and kissing the hand of the Cardinal Stefan Wyszynski, who was key in getting John Paul to accept his election to the papacy. Cardinal Wyszynski is considered to be a Polish national hero, and he celebrated his first mass at Jasmagora, which is what you see this line drawing here, and that is probably one reason it's here on the note. You see here the text of a letter from the Pope to the people of Poland that he read out to the people of Poland from the from the Paul VI room of the Vatican. And then you see a facsimile of the Pope's signature right there. So this is a great note to have if you enjoy signatures of real people on the banknote. And I certainly would have tried to get the Pope to sign this note had he been alive, and I'm sure I would have been an abject failure, but unlike most people, I would have tried. So there's that. Let me go ahead and explain the rest of what's found on this note. There, like I said, is the example of the monastery at Jasnagora, and it is a place of pilgrimage in Poland. It is a famous shrine to the Virgin Mary, and it contains the icon known as the Black Madonna of Czestochowa. And the scene we're seeing here, where the Pope, from his higher seated position, is showing fantastic honor to the Cardinal, who is kneeled below him. This scene occurred during the Holy Mass for the inauguration, and what's interesting is the Cardinal is bowed, and the Pope is honoring him back and showing respect for him as the primate of Poland. I wondered why, with the history and everything about Cardinal Wyszynski, it seemed amazing to me that he was not elected Pope himself. And who knows? I'm not really deeply involved in Catholic politics. I'm not even a Catholic, but it does give me pause to wonder. Beneath the two men are ribbons or banners, each with a Latin phrase. For example, below the Pope is his Episcopal Motto, Totus Tus, which, with my remedial Spanish, helped me figure out that it means something like all yours, totally belonging to you, all yours. And what a beautiful motto for somebody who served the world in his role as Pope, and then served his people and his church in his role as Cardinal, and then initially as just a priest. So there you go, his motto. And beneath that of the Cardinal is a band with Soli Deo, which is, I believe, Latin for glory to the God, or glory to God alone. Only God. Soli, solo, Deo, God. Only God. Maybe in a basic way. Very meaningful, very meaningful. And down here beneath the Pope's name, you can see it says 23X 1978. So the letter was October 28th, or I'm sorry, October 23rd of 1978. And it's just a very meaningful note, very colorful. And if you were to hold this note up to the side here in this blank space, you would see the arms of the papal office. You would see a mitre. I believe they call that a mitre. I'm not really I'm not really in the know when it comes to all the trappings of the Pope. I have been to the Vatican, but it was just in a very casual way. In fact, Pope John Paul II was the Pope, and he had just broken his hip, and so unfortunately I didn't get to see him wave to the audience. That would have been something I would have been excited about nevertheless. He was definitely a different Pope for his time. And his arms, which is the mitre and the crossed keys of St. Peter, appear as the watermark to the right of the back of the note and to the left of the front of the note. It's truly a beautiful note. Let me flip it over to the front while you flip it over in your mind whether or not you're going to join my many subscribers. I think this is a great note. I think it's historical, has a lot of meaning, and for me, it opened up a new world of Polish commemorative banknotes, which have been coming out with frequency ever since this first one came out in 2006. Please comment, please discuss. I do not mind your corrections. In fact, I treasure them because I would like for people to refer to this video as a source of information for this note, and it would be best if we had all of the information that we could give in this note. I am Benjamin. This has been Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. Have a jewel of a day.